And we're back talking with Rachel Allen, Senior Director of Talent Acquisition with 7-Eleven. Any growing pains that you felt through this? Any landmines that you stepped on that maybe you want to let people know about?
That's always a good one. I think the main thing, again, was just the arbitrary deadlines that we put on ourselves and not remembering what you're doing and what you're solving for. Again, we're customer obsessed, and therefore our focus is the candidate. So as long as you're keeping your candidate as your North Star, and then in our case, we had to make sure our customers were also kept as our North Star, you can't lose sight of that. And often that gets lost, right? You start getting into the process and you have these certain deadlines and you lose connection with why you're doing this in the first place. So just every now and then stop, pause, rise up, and reground yourself as to why you're actually doing this. And then maybe adjust potentially to something's changed since 6 months ago when you first started on the journey. Go ahead and adjust versus just plowing forward. I think that was something that really helped us out, is that we kind of stopped and paused and surveyed the land again and regrounded us before just plowing forward.
So surveying, is Rita doing any employee surveys, any pulse surveys, or are you going down funnel at all to be able to see how, I mean, again, you've got this technology there, you know who Rita is. Can you use her for other things?
Yeah, so we can ask her, how things are going, and that is one way to get feedback. We do also have another partnership with Surveil that lives on our career site and is always on and asking for feedback around their experience through the career site. And then for the professional level hiring, we do send a survey out at a couple places, one being after interviews. We do seek that feedback. And then we also send one to our hiring managers at the end of the process to ask them how the experience went. So we do have surveys in a few places.
We've been talking a lot about high volume. What about those other positions? Yeah. Have we done some different things with them?
We're moving in that direction, right? So high volume hadn't been getting the love. We finally got some love there. We've got a really great setup. And so now we're thinking, okay, so how do we do more, right? We are about to be able to use it, the same technology for scheduling at the store support center recruitment and our field recruitment level. And then we're asking for more. We keep, I'll be transparent in my vision here, and what I'm hoping to get at some point is I want to give my recruiters their own assistant. So we gave store leaders their assistant.
Yes.
I want my recruiters to have an assistant. And so much so of like, how can we tap into the profiles we have of the great talent already, use those profiles to do proactive sourcing and building automatic campaigns to generate these pipelines that we can just automatically fish into.
And they already have great business cases, and how you've implemented this to be able to move upstream, I think is amazing.
That's our hope, yeah.
Diversity and inclusion.
Yeah.
What has greater efficiency, greater speed, greater technology done to widen the net for who you're getting in front of from an employment perspective?
Yeah. So at our store level, we hire who's in our community, right? And so that's always been a big piece, is that community engagement and involvement, and freeing up the energy of our store leaders by automating some of the administrative stuff so they can be more present in their communities, and making sure that they're attracting some of that diverse talent into the funnel. So that's been really great. But what's really cool about technology is you can recruit from anywhere, anytime. Yeah. Right. And so, we're always open. We're 24/7, but we weren't recruiting 24/7 before. And there's a lot of folks that we need to be brought into the process that can't apply until 2 a.m. and they're immediately having a conversation now. And so I think that's increased our diversity as well, because we're able to reach everybody now, regardless of the type of schedule they have or where they are. And I think that's been a huge impact from technology. Yeah. The wider net, being able to reach our candidates where they are, when they need it, has been really helpful.
We don't talk enough about how the actual TA team feels. How do they feel now that they have this technology and that you've started to use things? And is it made them happier? Are they happier to come into work every day? Is it that to me We talk a lot about candidate experience. What about the experience of talent acquisition?
Yeah, that's why we want to move it into moving it upstream, like I said. So we don't have any recruiters out at the high volume level. We have a COE that supports them from a technology perspective, education, best tricks and tips, and that type of stuff. So the COE supports at the store level. But our recruiters have seen what it's done, and they're kind of like, hey, we want something too, which is why, which is why we want to improve what they have access to.
Gotcha.
So they're ready for it. They're hungry for it. We've created that pool, which is really great because within talent acquisition, we try to push a lot of stuff and the adoption is really low. There's a lot of technologies out there. When you look at your numbers, no one's using it. And it's like, why isn't anyone using it? So I think by being able to show really huge success at this high volume level, you create some of that pull so that hopefully once we start throwing some stuff out there, we'll actually see some adoption. The feedback's been positive for those who's interacted or seen what it can do.
Tell them help is coming.
Help is coming. Exactly.
Call me crazy, Rachel, but it sounds like you've bought in. Sounds like you're in.
You're crazy.
You're all in. What's next? You sound a little bit like a junkie. Well, like what are the next hits that you're going after?
Talk to my team about
referrals, onboard. Like what are the things that what's coming?
So we are adding referrals. That's coming up shortly within the next couple of months. We're also adding assessments at the front end of the process. So we solved for that time, which had the byproduct of quality. Now we want to ramp up quality even more. And we're helping to do that through the assessments. We're also in that era, labor market wise, where, a couple of years ago, we needed to remove all friction. We're in an era where maybe a little bit of friction could help, right, with the volume and providing the information for candidates to opt out if it's not the best fit so that we can increase retention overall. So we've got the referral piece coming in. We've got the assessment piece coming in. On the professional recruitment side, we're about to turn on the automation of scheduling of interviews, which is going to be really great. And then again, I'm hoping to at some point be able to provide that assistant to our recruiters that can help them with the sourcing and the pipelining and the recruitment marketing aspect of stuff.
For all your peers that are out there that are really scared about the prospective risk, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think you do need to evaluate the risk and what it means for your organization because each company is different. So you need to understand the appetite that your organization has, first of all. You need to make sure that you have the right stakeholders on the journey with you, that you're building the right business cases, that you don't lose sight of why you're doing it. What is the problem you're solving for first and foremost? Build the business case around that and then find the technology that enables the strategy that you're building. Where we mess up sometimes is we lead with the technology, the shiny new thing, versus what are we solving for? What is our strategy? And then go find the technology that can help with it. So I think, to help with that fear of the unknown, because that's what it is. We're scared of what we don't know, and we don't know what we don't know, and that's what's scary. But there's enough people that have started going down this journey, so do your research. Go out and talk to the people who have already done it. Make sure you understand what the objectives are of your company and what you're solving for, and then how you can add value from a talent acquisition perspective through some of the new technologies that are out there. So I think getting comfortable with the research that's available, having conversations with people that have already done this can help mitigate that fear factor a little bit. And then you have to have a massive change management plan. Everybody always stops at signing the agreements and forgets that that's like you've just started. So don't stop at signing the agreement. You haven't won the battle yet. You make sure you've got that really strong change management in place and some of that hypercare.
It's not set it and forget it.
Yeah, correct. And then very true. Like you don't just get to implement and be done. There's always that continuous improvement process that happens after with it too.
All right, Rachel, I'm going to close this one with a hardball. You ready? Okay. You're on a road trip. You need some personal refueling. You hit a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
My go-to, I'm getting a big diet Dr. Pepper, actually. I'm getting a big gulp. My kids, Slurpee. Slurpee all the way.
Joel, Slurpee all the way.
I'm a big gulp girl for sure.
All right. Thanks for joining us. That was Rachel Allen, Senior Director of Talent Acquisition with 7-Eleven. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.